no one was truly prepared for what surfaced this week. The internet was already buzzing with excitement surrounding Jimin and Jungkook's travel show, but nothing compared to the shockwave that erupted when an internal production source finally broke the silence. For months, fans had speculated that there were scenes deliberately held back, moments too intimate, too raw, or too revealing to be broadcast. Now the truth had spilled out like a secret long kept under pressure. The official episodes that fans adored, filled with warmth, laughter, and effortless chemistry, were apparently just the tip of an iceberg far deeper and more emotional than anyone had imagined. The revelation felt almost surreal. What the world had seen, those vibrant smiles, soft talks, and spontaneous reactions, was merely the surface of an entire universe captured behind the scenes. Every step the two took, every quiet breath they shared between one conversation and the next, hid unfiltered stories that thrived in the space between edited moments. Suddenly, the fandom found itself questioning every abrupt transition, every unexplained change in tone, and every scene that felt just a little too short. Something had always seemed missing, and now those missing pieces were finally falling into place. Among the many revelations, one of the most talked about deleted scenes came from the pair's very first night on the trip. Viewers only saw a brief conversation about trivial things, weather, schedules, simple remarks exchanged before bed. But according to the source present in the room, that night held a much longer moment carved with sincerity and vulnerability. They spoke about exhaustion, not the kind cured by sleep, but the kind born from years of relentlessly giving their all on stage. Jimin expressed how strange it felt to slow down, to breathe without hearing thousands of fans chanting his name. Jungkook admitted that rest often made him uneasy, as if standing still left too much room to think. Yet, in that quiet space when it was just the two of them, the silence didn't feel intimidating. It felt safe. It felt familiar. Jungkook even joked that Jimin was the only person who can make a vacation feel like home. Staff members described the moment as so tender, so naturally affectionate, that cutting it from the show felt almost sacrilegious, but necessary because some emotions didn't belong to the cameras. Another moment that remained hidden came from the breakfast scene. What the world saw was a minimal sequence, almost rushed, two people eating before heading out. But the uncut footage painted a much softer picture. Jimin shuffled into the kitchen half asleep, hair messy and eyes still hazy from the morning. Feeling cold, he reached for Jungkook's hoodie and pulled it over his head without asking. Jungkook noticed immediately, teasing him gently, "Just take it, Hyung. You're always cold anyway." The way Jimin clutched the oversized hoodie, like it was a small cocoon of warmth, made Jungkook watch him with an expression too layered to describe. A mix of amusement, affection, and quiet understanding. It wasn't dramatic, but it was real. Too real, perhaps, which was why it never made it to the final cut. The countryside scene was yet another gem lost to the editing room. The two wandered through a narrow path lined with old shops and blooming flowers. A soft bell chimed from a tiny craft store, catching Jimin's attention. He stepped inside, eyes lighting up as he browsed handmade trinkets. He found a moon-shaped keychain and held it up with childlike fascination. Jungkook looked at him for a moment before saying, "It suits you." Jimin laughed, bright and unguarded, and insisted Jungkook should take the matching sun. At first Jungkook refused, embarrassed, but eventually he picked it up with a shy smile. This simple, cinematic moment, two people selecting charms that mirrored each other, was quietly erased from the broadcast, even though it said more about their bond than any scripted narration ever could. But the scene that left fans most shaken wasn't playful or cute. It was the final night of their journey, the one the audience thought they had already witnessed. In the broadcast, they delivered a polished farewell message, heartfelt yet composed. But the real version, the one shown only to the staff, was far more emotional. Jimin struggled to speak. His voice trembled as he confessed how deeply the trip had touched him, how much he missed spending uninterrupted time with Jungkook. He said he wished moments like these lasted longer, that they didn't have to chase schedules or worry about expectations. Jungkook calmly reached over, placed a steady hand on Jimin's shoulder, and said he felt exactly the same. Cameras caught their silence afterward, a silence too heavy with meaning to be shared with the world. A moment of comfort, of closeness, of connection that didn't need words. It was so intimate that the production team decided it was never meant for public eyes. There were lighter behind-the-scenes moments too, ones that showed their natural chemistry without even trying. In one unreleased clip, Jungkook secretly filmed Jimin struggling to zip his suitcase. Laughing, he pointed out that Jimin always overpacked. Jimin shot back that half the items inside belonged to Jungkook anyway. They bickered playfully, moving around each other with ease and familiarity. Fans who glimpsed the leaked snippets replayed them endlessly, savoring every second like it was a gift. The more fans learned about these hidden fragments, the more they began to understand that the show had never been about the destinations or the scripted narratives. It was about two people who had grown up together, survived challenges together, and discovered comfort in each other's presence. Jimin and Jungkook weren't simply traveling, they were returning to a space only they understood, a space built from years of trust, loyalty, and quiet dependence. The phrase, "Are you sure?" once seemed like a simple question tied to uncertainty, hesitation, or humor. Now it carried a deeper, heavier meaning. It became a symbol of the unspoken question many fans were asking. Are we sure we're ready to know the full truth of their bond? Are we sure we deserve to see what they kept sacred? The world may never receive a director's cut, but knowing these moments existed, felt sincerely, lived authentically, was enough to leave a lasting ache in the hearts of millions. In the end, their travel show became something more profound than entertainment. It became a window into their humanity, showing that behind all the fame, awards, and expectations, there were two young men who found solace in each other. Their journey was filled with whispered conversations, unfiltered laughter, affectionate teasing, and gentle silences that spoke louder than words. If these deleted scenes hinted at anything, it was that some connections thrive beyond what cameras can capture. Some emotions cannot be scripted or manufactured. They simply exist because two souls choose to meet each other again and again, even when the world isn't watching. Perhaps the world will never see the full unedited footage, and maybe that's exactly how their story should remain. Partly hidden, partly revealed, glowing softly in the spaces where only they can reach. Because some memories shine brighter when kept close to the heart. Some stories are more beautiful when preserved quietly between the people who lived them. Even if countless scenes were cut, the essence remains alive. In the laughter that lingers long after the moment has passed, in the warmth that refuses to fade, and in the silent understanding that needs no explanation. Their journey was never just a show. It was a reminder of a bond strengthened over years, steady and unbreakable, existing in all the moments the world will never see.